so that we can experience profound joy and fulfillment. Providing a roadmap for how to experience all that life has to offer, Dr. Gladys models everything she teaches. She gives readers a shining example of life as it is meant to be experienced, as a moving, evolving process where we spend our energy wildly and age into health. In a world that is often anti-aging, Dr. Gladys offers us a positive vision of what our inevitable march of years can become, a source of ever greater joy and fulfillment as we continue to learn and fulfill our soul's true purpose. In other words, how we can live our best life in every moment, so that when our days come to their eventual end, we can know they were truly well lived. Dr. Gladys's 6 secrets are brought to life by her inspiring personal stories and those of her patients, many of whom experience truly miraculous healing. Her patients don't just heal their diseases, they heal their lives. This book is the culmination of everything Dr. Gladys has learned and taught for a century. And while many may consider her life well lived, it's worth noting that she's not done living it yet. Dr. Gladys lives a more active life than many half her age, and she still has a 10-year plan. As she proudly states, at nearly 102, she's just getting started.
This book has taken the essence of my theology. I want to call it theology. It's not theology. My principles, and put it into words that people can understand. My parents were both osteopaths, and the interesting thing is that they were taught by A.T. Still, who was the originator of the concept of osteopathy. And my dad graduated in 1912, and my mother graduated in 1913 from his school. And when they were ready to go out to India as medical missionaries, my mother was not even accepted as a physician, in spite of the fact that she had her degree, but she had to work like a technician for my dad in order to be able to even qualify within the field of medicine. So however it was, they worked it out, and they went out to India as a couple of doctors. At that time, women were not physicians. I mean, they just were not physicians. They were nurses and they were teachers, but they were not physicians. In fact, I got into fights when I was in first grade with my classmates because people would say, "What are you going to do when you grow up?" And I'd say, "Be a doctor." And they'd say, "Then you can't. You're a woman. You can't be a doctor." And I'd get into a big fight about that because that's the way it was. But it was true. Women were not accepted as physicians. She could have been a nurse or a technician, but not that. However, they were able to do the work and get the church to accept them for what they were. And they went on out to India in 1914, right in the middle of the World War I, with blackouts on the ship that they were on because there were U-boats in the Atlantic at that time. But they got to India safely and moved on up to North India, which is where their work was continued in Uttar Pradesh, which is the foothills of the Himalayas. And so there were 5 of us children who were born while my parents were doing this work. And all of us have continued to carry out the work in our own way. So there's a big history of this kind of healing work, which I now call living medicine, which has to do with life and love as the great healers. So I grew up there, and my first years were, in my mind, just absolutely idyllic.
Introduction. Toward Life. I turned 102 this year. As a doctor in